Yo, it's Hoodyhooo, and in this video, I'll be sharing my top 5 Rocket League tips. I'm currently coaching Bing Bong and have experience coaching at the collegiate and high school levels as well as on GamersRdy. If you're not sure what GamersRdy is, well, it's a platform where you can purchase coaching sessions for Rocket League, Fortnite, and CSGO. I will link the website in the description. I have helped players progress at all levels, and these are the most common and, in my opinion, most important tips I give to players of all ranks. Before I start, I want to clarify an extremely common misconception. You do not need flashy or advanced mechanics to rank up. For instance, if you are anywhere below GC and practicing flip resets, you are not using your time wisely. I have achieved 1700 MMR Grand Champ, and I have never pulled off a flip reset in-game, nor do I have impressive mechanics for my hours or rank. With that being said, we all play the game for different reasons, and if you enjoy hitting clips or just play to have fun, then go for it. I'm not here to tell you how to play, but you will most likely see improvement in your own gameplay and in rank if you will focus on these following tips more so than trying advanced mechanics. First up, we have camera work. This is something that isn't talked about all that much, but critically important. For you to make good decisions, you must have as much of the information around you as possible. You need to know where your teammates and opponents are. Toggling between ball and car cam is extremely helpful and something you can do very quickly. You won't always need to let your camera transition completely, as you can gather information during the transition. A great time to toggle that camera is during a dodge. When your car is mid-air during the dodge, you have to wait until your wheels return to the ground before you can enter a new input, so use that time to gather the information around you. You need to make use of the right stick or whatever keys you have bound to swivel the camera and make use of rear view camera. I cannot overstate the importance of camera work and how much it can improve your game. Next up, we have spacing, and this will most definitely improve as camera work improves. There is an incredible video on rotation and spacing by Virge that I will link below. This video does an amazing job visually showing you why rotation and spacing are so important, and I highly recommend you give it a watch. I want to keep this video short and sweet because I can make entire videos on some of these tips, but to put it simply, why use two players to do what one can accomplish? It is important to keep a good team shape by staying spaced out from one another, giving your team good coverage of the field. One way to think about spacing is to break the field into zones. You almost never want to be in the same zone as a teammate, especially in the corners of the field. That goes for offense and defense. It's important to maintain depth and width as a unit, so make sure you are aware of your teammates' positionings so you can position accordingly. Third, we have game sense. This is a very general term that can be used to describe a wide variety of things like game score, time left, boost amounts, teammates or opponents' tendencies, and so on. I actually think this is one of the biggest problems players face. It's super easy to get into an autopilot mode and just drive around the field without really thinking about what you are doing. You need to be reading everything going on around you and playing accordingly. Every single chance you get attacking and each time you have to defend will be totally different. You will have different amounts of boost, teammates in different positions. You may be winning, you may be losing. There could be 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, or there may only be 20 seconds left. Each of those situations would call for a different approach to defense or offense. Think about what is actually happening and what you should do in that moment. A specific example that is one of the most frustrating aspects of Rocket League is trying to maintain a lead. I actually have an article on the subject that I will link below. When you have a lead, you no longer need to be urgent about scoring, which means you do not need to take risks on offense. You can possess the ball and ensure the other team doesn't score while the clock drains, and that will result in a win. Many times, the reasons teams throw their lead is they remain just as aggressive as they were at 0-0, and they forfeit easy counterattack goals. Play smart, don't go into autopilot. My fourth tip is rotation. This is essentially the previous 3 tips combined into one. You need to use the camera to be aware of what's going on around you and be conscious of the game situation. Being mindful of these two things will help tremendously with spacing. Combining these three things is how you will decide on how you want to rotate. Your teammates have been ultra aggressive the entire game and you are up 2 goals with 1:15 left. Take a passive, cautious approach to the game and ensure that your team doesn't overcommit. Say you are down 3 goals with 2 minutes left and have been on the back foot the entire game. Maybe time to up the aggression, try to create some pressure on the opponents. Some very simple blanket tips for rotation are to try and limit your ball side rotation. This is when you retreat from offense to defense on the same side as the ball. This can make things difficult for your teammates to read and leave them in a tough spot. When rotating to defense, you want to aim towards back post if possible and adjust according to how the play unfolds. Rotation isn't something that has defined rules and each player is going to do it differently. It is something you can continuously improve on, so check your replays and look at things from your perspective as well as teammates to see what you could have done better. The final tip is mechanics. While I'm definitely an advocate of the mental side of the game being more important, I think it would be quite ignorant to ignore mechanics. My tip is more so how to efficiently practice mechanics. I'll give a quick bit of background on myself to help explain. I originally played the game on Xbox as it was a cheaper entry point. For my first 2 months of playing, I played on my college roommate's Xbox every opportunity I had until I finally had to cave and buy my own. I accumulated over 3,000 hours on Xbox, and while I'll say anywhere from 700 to 1,200 hours were AFK or maybe trading hours, I still had close to 2,000 hours of game time, and the highest I had ever reached in rank was Diamond 1. I definitely understand that everyone improves at different rates, and I was coming in with essentially no video game background, but that is quite behind the curve as far as rank to hours goes. Many players reach GC between 1,500 and 2,500 hours. The reason my improvement was so slow was because I just played the game. I never practiced. The only time I practiced flicks, half flips, or any mechanic was when I received the opportunity in-game. The solution really is simple. It just takes discipline, dedication, and patience. Practice, practice, practice. You will know better than anyone what you don't feel comfortable doing, so practice those things. If you aren't sure what mechanic you should be focusing on and practicing, you can check out my Rocket League progression guide here in the top right corner. If you have an hour or so to play each day, spend the first 10 to 15 minutes practicing mechanics you want to improve on. If you want to see serious progress quickly, then I recommend creating a training plan. Be patient and persistent with focused and intentional practice to see an accelerated rate of progress. Alright, those are my top 5 tips to improve your game. Camera work, spacing, game sense, rotation, and mechanics. If you are interested in a coaching session with me, you can find me on GamersRdy, which I will link below. I am so grateful for the support lately. The growth I've been experiencing is super exciting. I hope I'm providing some value and helping you on your journey up the ranked ladder. As always, good luck, have fun, and thank you for watching.